Okay, so what are you two up to right now?
So we've got our bucket of water, and we're actually washing some of the artifacts that we've recovered from one of our mounds.
And what kinds of artifacts have you been uncovering exactly?
So this particular bag, as you can see here, this is the bag that we bring back from the site. So we record the bag number, what we use to sift the size of the screen holes that we used to sift the dirt through. And what this tells us is it came from Mound A, so that's where I've been digging. It came from level 3, which means that was the third time that we went and took a chunk of soil down, cleaned it out, took photos of the floor, took photos of the wall. That would be level 1. And we went down again about 20 centimeters and then repeated that process, and this is the third one. And so these are the artifacts that we were able to screen out at this site. So what we do is we get our trays, we make a tag, and we copy it word for word. And then when we get these out of the dirt, I mean, they're incredibly dirty, so we want to clean them off so that they can be analyzed.
And how are you cleaning them exactly?
These are some of the unwashed ones.
Ah, okay.
Yep.
So scrub
we
them with
get
toothbrushes.
Toothbrushes.
Wonderful buckets, and we fill them with water. And we just put the artifacts in there and then scrub them down. So for instance, right now I'm working on part of a long bone shaft of a large mammal. So we have a couple of those here, and then we set them on the tray so that they can dry out before we put them in an official plastic bag, which is what they'll be brought back to be analyzed in the lab. We've got, oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
You got a cool piece.
Yeah. So we found a lot of ceramics, and this one, you can tell, has been part of a rim, but what I think is that it may also have been part of a platter, because it's rounded on all the edges. So that's my thought. I'm not sure yet.
I just pulled out a fish vertebra, and we can tell that because if you can see how it indents here on this side, and on this side as well, that's something that's distinctive for fish.
Yep. And I've got one too.
So these just seem to be small pottery sherds, and then
And occasionally you run across some of these ceramic sherds that have been incised. So that was performed while the pottery was still wet. Someone took some kind of implement and scored lines into it. And you can actually form a chronology of the site based on these kinds of incisings and what kind of patterns people put in them.
and sometimes we get ones that don't have incise, so we call it plain, like this one, and we can tell it's a rim because it's not broken here. And there seems to be kind of a faint line that goes here, but it is very faint. But so we can get really big pottery sherds like this. We can get really small ones like this. It all depends on how things are preserved.
Yep.
You have your hands full, don't you?
Yeah.
A little bit. But it's, of course, very necessary because every time you're digging something, you're destroying it and removing the context. So we just want to preserve as much of that as possible. So being careful not to lose them, to keep them all in the same batch based on where they were recovered, labeling all the time.